Welcome to WordPress Basics Module 5, Menus. Okay, we are still in Module 5, and we are going to explore another area of the dashboard. And we're going to connect what we learned in that area, which is menus. And we're going to connect how we can use what we create in menus and add as a widget. So if you remember in the last lesson, we added a couple of widgets to our sidebar, kind of filling up some of that white space that we have on the right. You don't want to make it too cluttered, but there are some essential things that people look for to help them navigate their way around. And you know, as your blog post grows, these blog posts, you know, they kind of at some point, they don't get hidden, but unless people know specifically what to search for, they may have to kind of go through your categories or your archives to kind of go back through and see, you know, when did you post that? If there was a particular tag that was applied to that blog post. You know, these things help people locate your content, especially as you get, and I mentioned in an earlier module, I have blog posts that are, or blogs that are from 700 posts to, I have one, the book review site that I've been managing for several years. That has well over 1,000 book reviews and interviews with authors. And so it's essential to have search and categories and archives. So an author who's looking for an interview, or they're looking to see if we reviewed their book, we provide that for them so they'll be able to search it. So those are elements that are definitely, I call them extras. They kind of really help the website function just a little bit more effectively. So what I'm going to do is we're going to add a couple of, I think 2 widgets. And I'm going to show you how we can add one more to a sidebar. And if you remember, this particular theme would let you add footers. So we're going to add widgets to our footer to see how you can bring another element of navigation to people. In recent years, the footer has become really important. It's kind of when people scroll down to the bottom of your page, you give them just something else to click on, either to stay on your website a little bit longer or just to learn a little bit more information. So we'll kind of go through that process. So I'm going to go back over here to our dashboard. I actually am under appearances, and I have clicked on menus that's under appearances. And we're on a screen that you haven't seen before. This is kind of a new, I can't remember which version of WordPress, somewhere after they became WordPress 3.0, they introduced this element or this feature called custom menus. And it's really neat because you can actually, if you remember, and I'm going to go back a bit. If you remember when we created these pages, I showed you how you can create a parent page, and then you can create what they call child pages or sub pages underneath the parent page. Now that is something you probably still want to consider doing, but under custom menus, this process, they allow it a much easier process to do. So I'm going to go back to menus. And I'm not going to mess too much with the navigation, but I wanted you to know that you can use this part of custom menus to actually really, this navigation right here, you can actually use the custom menus to create this, and it will be much simpler because, as you will see in a second, it's a just simple drag and drop. But I actually want to create, because we're talking about widgets, I try to stay focused. You probably hear me, I'm talking and blabbing, I could probably go in all different directions, but right now, because we just finished talking about widgets, I want to kind of continue in this module of how you can create certain pieces of certain elements in your dashboard area, and we're continuing to add where you can put those widgets at. So I want you to be aware there's an easier way to make that navigation at the top, and that's here. But right now we're gonna create, I think, 2 widgets. The first one I want is kind of a general navigation menu. So I'm gonna call this just about, and I'm gonna create menu. Okay, so I typed in about for this menu and I created it, and now you see that it's kind of opens up the world a little bit on this left side. And I'm not going to do too much with theme locations, but if this was going to be our main menu, this is the part where we would choose about, and it would wipe clean what we created on the navigation menu and replace it with what we created here. So I just want you to see that part, this primary menu, is like that main top menu. For custom links, if you wanted to put outside links, you could do that. For now, I'm not. I'm going to actually close these because I want to bring this up a little closer. They do have categories. I'm not going to worry about categories because if you remember, we have a categories widget. So I'm not going to be too concerned with that. I kind of just want to focus just on pages. You know, this was the first element that I saw that really lets you pull out certain pages and put them into your a widget. And so that's what I'm going to do now. For this particular about menu, I want to pull out the main pages, the main parent pages. So I'm going to pull out, and I'm going to check out Contact Us. I'm not going to really mess with products because I'm going to do a different menu with that in a second. I want to pull out Services, About Us, and I don't see Home. So let me click on View All and try that again. There's Home. I didn't have all of them. So I want to try it again. Home, About Us, Services, Don't Need Products, and Contact Us. So I want those 4 pages. I want to pull those out to create a menu. So I'm going to click Add to Menu. Real simple, real easy. It brought over those 4 pages. And if I wanted to move them around, I could. You can see how easy it is. Actually, as I'm doing this, if I wanted to make the Contact Us a subpage or a child page under the parent page, you can see how easy that is. Real easy to do. But for now, I'm going to save that menu. Okay. I want to create one more menu. And this one is going to be, you know how we have these products 1, 2, 3, and 4. I want to create a menu of just the products. So I'm going to go up here to this little tab with the plus sign. It's actually where it'll let me add a menu. So I'm going to click on it. And we're back to that original screen that we saw before. And let's see, this one I'm going to call Products. And then I'm going to create menu. So now we have 2 different menus. We have an About, and we have this Products that we're getting ready to create. So I want to bring over these 1, 2, 3, 4 product pages. And I'm going to click Add to Menu. Okay, now I don't really like the order, but hey, that's no problem. This is drag and drop. So we're going to click on the one that we want to move. I'm going to move that up to the top, move up product 2, product 3, and then product 4. So that looks better to me. That's the order that I'm looking for. So I'm going to save menu. Okay, so we have just created two menus that we could use anywhere as a widget on the website. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to go back over to widgets. And if you remember, we set these up in the last lesson of this module. I think for these purposes, just because I don't like a cluttered sidebar, I'm going to drag this tag, I'm just going to drag it off. Just take it off there. And what I do want to replace that with is the custom menu over here, the custom menu widget. And I'm going to drag that to the bottom there for now. Now, you can change the title if you want. For now, I'm going to leave it, as is. But notice that it has the two menus, the About and the Products menus that we just created. And that's the really cool part of, if you just want to pull out just particular pages, this is the way to go. So I'm going to pull out the About page. So I'm just going to select About and click Save. Okay. And then what I want to do is go out to the website, and I'm going to press Reload. And I'm going to scroll down, and there it is. There is the Home, About Us, Services, and Contact Us. Now, in this particular case, I didn't put a title, so I'm going to go back and do that. I think it'll look a lot better. So I'm going to put just About Demo, and then press Save. So apparently, if you don't put a title, you won't get a title. So if you add a title, you'll actually get a title. So now I have this kind of at the bottom on the sidebar, and it's not a really effective way or an effective place to put it. I think this would actually be better at the bottom, where, people will be all the way to the bottom, and instead of them scrolling all the way back to the top, I would like them to be able to get to those menu items at the bottom. So I'm going to go back to widgets, and I'm going to close this. And I have 1, 2, 3 footers down here, and I'm about to use both of them, all three of them, to show you how this particular theme looks. A lot of themes in some of my websites, I think at least 2 or 3 of my websites use the DIY with Ty website. As a matter of fact, I have footers at the bottom. I really like to have those footers at the bottom because you can put really good information and links that people can get to. So I'm going to actually open footer area 1, and I'm going to drag this down here. Now, before I take you out to the website again, remember I created a products menu. I kind of want people to see, okay, these are the 4 products. So I want them to see that again once they scroll down to the page, just in case, they didn't see it while they were going through the blogs or the pages. So in footer area 2, I'm going to go back. And this is the cool thing. You can use these more than once. Like if you wanted to use custom menu again, you can. So I'm going to grab custom menu again, add it to footer area 2. Let me pull this up so you can see. I've already used About. For this one, I want to use Products. And I think I'm going to call this one, let's call it Demo Store. Like, these are the 4 products that we are selling, and we want them to see them right there so they can go back to them. Now, I could put this in the sidebar if I wanted to, but for these purposes, because I want you to see how you can also use widgets and more than just a sidebar. And let me say something else about that. In that particular theme, we have 2 columns. In some websites, there will be 3 columns. Actually, most of the websites that I have 3 columns. So when you have 3 columns, you can end up with 2 sidebars. So you have even more space to fit information. And you really have to, like I said, I don't like that cluttered look. So you have to really pay attention to, well, maybe this sidebar will just be ads and graphics. This sidebar will be links, the mailing list. I'm very strategic about what I put in each sidebar so that to make sure it's evenly spaced, that there's just not, it's not detracting from what content I have in the blog post or the page. So anytime you can move things, if you have more than one sidebar, if you can use the footer, really make good use of that space, that's a great thing to have. So let's see, I'm going to save this because I'm talking and don't know if I saved it. So I'm going to go out here. I'm going to press reload. And I'm going to scroll from the top to the bottom. Let's see what we have. Oh, yeah. There we go. So you can see at the bottom, we have added 2 widgets using the custom menu. And this is great. And we could have added these to the sidebar. We could have put them up here. But it's just nice not to put too much stuff over here if you don't have to. I mean, you can if you want to. It depends on what you feel is appropriate. But we now have where we can send people to another part of our page. And the nice thing about these footers, just like the sidebar, any page where a sidebar or a footer is located in the code of the theme, this will be on every page. So if you had to make a change, say to one page, you would go back to menu. Say if you wanted to remove About Us. You know, when you remove it from that menu, it will be removed from all the pages. And so back in the day, we would have separate pages. And if we had to remove one of these, you had to go to every single page to remove it. And that was so long. It took, it's just tedious. One of the reasons why I love WordPress, it just makes moving and making changes quickly, easy, and just very efficient.